Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel Power Podium. Today we are going to learn about a very interesting thing, that is data flow. So let's go ahead and start with the basics first. Now you all must be very familiar with the CDS, that is the Common Data Services data model, which is used to create a central repository uh, of data for things such as Power Automate, Power Apps and Power BI. Now, a very common challenge that most of us face is we don't know how to reload this data model after it's created and it's in progress, right? So if we want to utilize, or let's say if we want to play around with the existing data model, then it becomes difficult for us because there is no, previously there was no such process in place. Now, here comes the data flow to the rescue. So what you can do with data flow? Basically, you can author the data flow in a Power Apps portal, and you can schedule the data flow run, and then you can use the data to load it to a destination storage. Now, this must be quite difficult. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we are going to do today. So this is our SharePoint. We are going to have a SharePoint list, and we are going to author a data flow. And this authoring of data flow for refreshing of data from SharePoint to Power Apps portal can be done in two ways. You can use a manual refresh or a scheduled refresh. And then when the data is available in Power Apps, we are then going to go ahead and connect with this data from various sources, maybe from Excel, which we will be using for cleaning the data, transforming it, or let's say load it to the CDS, or let's say your organization's Azure Data Lake storage account. So without wasting much time, let's go to my intro, after which we will jump on the solution. So my name is Yash Kamdar and I work as a cloud infrastructure consultant at Rapid Circle and on a product called Mohimbi as a Mohimbi consultant. I am an MCP. You can find my handlers, and if you want to pick up a quick chat, then I am always available for a healthy discussion. So let's go back to the Power Apps now and let's start ramping up our solution. So this is my list that I have created. It's a very simple list. The name is Power Apps Series List. I have got some default columns like title, and along with that, I have got three custom columns: roll number, batch, and email. So batch is a choice column, and this has two choices. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and log into make.powerapps.com. This is our Power Apps, and if you can see inside the data options, there is an important option called entities. So let's go ahead and click on this entities. Okay, so this entity will load in a minute, and this holds all your default and the custom entities. I have created a lot of them, but for the sake of it, let's go ahead and try to create a new one. So I will click on get data, and this will ramp up a nice process for us to grab that data. And now you'll see that the people at Microsoft have given us a huge variety of options. So these are all our data sources. You can go ahead and basically import data from hundreds of data sources. Okay, so for now we have a SharePoint Online list. So let's click on the SharePoint Online list. Now, an important thing is we need to establish a connection with our data source first. So let's go ahead, try to copy the URL and just put it over here. Okay, now I already have a connection that is in place. So I'll just click on next. Let's see if this authenticates. Most of the times you can experience connection issues. Oh, that's it. I got one right here. So let's go ahead and edit this. I'll just click on sign in as a different user. So this happens very often, and I'll use different account. So mykamdar@support.onmicrosoft.com. I'll click on next. This is my password. I think I may have made a mess of my password. Yes, that's the correct one. So I'm just quickly going to sign in. I don't want this, so I'll just click on don't show this again and I'll click on yes. Okay, so this still says that the credentials are invalid. So let's do this. I'll go ahead and do this. I don't need an on-premise data gateway because my data is present on a SharePoint Online thing, and the authentication type is going to be Microsoft account. Let's select the privacy level as organizational and then click on sign in. So this is again going to open up the same thing. Use another account. kamdar@mohimbesupport.microsoft.com. It's a good thing that we are facing these issues because anyways, I wanted to demonstrate this on how you can go ahead and fix this. Okay, so I got the next button and yep, this is going to safely authenticate me and take me to the next step. So anytime you face these issues, don't worry, you just need to enter your credentials once again with a different user, right? You'll already see that I had ykamdar@mohimbe support option login username there, but don't use that same connection because it's already corrupted. Okay, now you'll see that this is my SharePoint Online list, and there are all the different lists and libraries that are present over here. So the list that is of interest to us in this session is PowerApps CDS list. So I'll just select this and tick this box, and I'll explain this in the next step. I'll just click on transform data. Now you'll see that in a minute, lots of data will appear on your screen, and that's it. So you see, I can see a lot of garbage as well. So you are never going to need this editor, author, versions, properties, parent list, liked by information, etc. And now don't worry, there is a safe way to remove this. So what you can do is just, maybe I'll just do this. You can just right click on this and you can just click on remove columns. But the difficult part is you'll need to do this for each of these columns, and it is a wide list. So you're not watching this video, uh, like I'll not waste your time and do this. Instead, what we will do is we'll use a Power Query. So you can see Table.RemoveColumns, and from the navigation, it has already removed this file system object type. Now, for the sake of the demo, what I have done is I've already created this query. It's pretty simple, right? So I'll just Control A, Control C. So this has all the columns that we need to go ahead and remove. I'll just paste this and hit on enter. So now this query will run and this will remove most of the garbage. Okay, so this says that server redirected embedded URI wasn't found. No problem. We'll just go to the left and we'll try to fix this. So URL is over here. I don't know what it's looking for. Yeah, this is the one. So let's remove this. Never mind. I think there might be some issue. Control A and hit enter once again. Perfect. So you see most of the things are now gone. It's come to a very clean kind of data. Right now there are still some parameters that we don't need. So those are one or two things that we can remove manually. So I'll just remove this column, and who needs this OData thing, right? I'll just remove this. So at least from 25 columns, we are now only to 3 to 4 columns. I'll just remove this as well. And I promise you, I'm just going to remove one last thing. So this is the one. And now perfect. So see, we have got our data in a very neat and a clean way, right? So let's go ahead and try to play with a couple more options. Okay, so let's click on this. Okay, and transform column. So let's see what happens if I click on this transform. Interesting. So does it allow me the option to, never mind. Okay, so this is it, right? Now what is the next thing that we need to do? the next thing is, let's click on next, because we are going to create a connection, right? So that we can import this clean data into Power Apps. That's what we are doing right now. So in the next screen that comes up, you get three options. One is the load to new entity. That means you're going to create a new entity. And then you can also load to one of your existing entities. We are not going to do that right now. So let's load to a new entity, and let's say Power Podium episode. Okay, let's give this a name of that sort. So Power Podium and episode. So I'll just keep the entity name and the display name same. Now you'll see that there is this unique primary name field. Okay, so it automatically detected that there wasn't any field called name. So it is asking us which column do you want the entity to treat as a name. Okay, so I'll just click on title because I want the title to be of name, right? Yep, and you can see these are all the columns that are going to appear on, like, that are going to appear in your data inside your entity. So let's click on next now. And I think, yes, now these are the two options. As I told you earlier, you can refresh this entity manually or you can refresh this automatically, which is a scheduled way. We'll go ahead and take a look at this afterwards. For now, let me click on create. So there's an interesting option that I want to demo, but that can only be done later on. So let's go ahead and click on create. Now, once you click on create, you will see, so the name was Power, I think Power Podium episode, right? And I don't see anything like this, which means the data is still in the refresh state. So where do I see that? Go to the data flows, and inside the data flows, see, there is no refresh in place right now. So rather I just go ahead and click on refresh. And yes, now it's refreshing. So now it shows me that the data flow is indeed refreshing. Oh, so data flow refresh has failed. No entity was created for this query. Never mind. I'll refresh this once again. So this is going to take time. Right now I am having, yes, you can see that this is in progress. But yeah, right now I am having very little amount of data. So it will not take much time. But if you have loads of data, like if your SharePoint list is crazy heavy, then this is going to take some time. But this has been created with flawless experience. So don't worry, this will get completed. Now, right now it's in progress. So it's a wait and watch game for us. So in the meanwhile, what we can do is just open, oh, okay. So I think God is with us. So this was refreshed, right? Now let's go ahead and check our entities if the entity with name Power Podium is present. So I'll just go over here and yes, Power Podium episode. This is present, right? So now what we'll do is we'll go to the Power Apps and we'll try to create a blank canvas application where we'll be playing around with this data. What do I name this? I'll name this Power Apps CDS episode, right? And the format is tablet. I'll just click on create. So things are getting ready. This is going to take some time though. Perfect. So yep, I'll just skip this. I am quite familiar with those steps. Okay, now let's go ahead and insert a gallery. And by gallery, let's insert a blank vertical gallery. Okay, and first important thing is we'll select our data source, right? From here. So let's click on see all entities and I see the Power Podium episodes. So I'll just click on that. So this will populate this data and you can see that the SharePoint list data is now safely present over here. I don't like this image thing being empty, so we'll just add one simple logo, the logo of the organization I work with. So that comes up. Now you'll see that this is not the entire data. right? That our entity was a part of. So let's make this a bit neat. So this name is still okay, but here I want a roll number to be present. So let's do this. Let's better to do this. I mean, so roll number and ending, and this item dot roll number. Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, you can see that I have got a roll number safely, right? Now I'll just include another label. So this label will hold the email address, right? I hope we had the email address correct. Yeah, we do have it. So we are going to do the same thing. Email address. We'll do some ending, and this item dot em IntelliSense will come to our help. So yeah, we have our email address. And now last but not the least, let me take this a bit up because we don't have any space right now. It's becoming clumsy, but let's add one more label. That's the final nail in the coffin. And let's also include the batch, right? So let's say year of passing. I'm bad with my spellings today, so I'll just click on and then this item dot, I think that was batch, right? Yeah, that was the batch thing. So yeah, now you can see that we have all the three items that are a part of our SharePoint in our Power App, correct? And now if I play this, you'll see that all of this data has come up pretty nicely, correct? So let's go ahead and do some, let's play around a bit more. Now, if I go to the entities, you'll see that there is also an option to export data, right? But let's go to the data flows as well. And if I select this, ah, I think I should not have pressed that. Now it's going to refresh. Never mind, it's just going to open that entity once again. So I'll just leave it for that. Let's go back to the entities, okay? And so there is an option to export this, right? Let's find our Power Podium episode. And then we'll click on edit data in Excel. And now you'll see that it is going to extract all of this data in Excel. So I'll just name this Power Podium Excel sheet. Okay. And then I'll just click on save. So now when I try to open this, boom. So I have all the different columns. Some of them are lookups. You cannot, go ahead and delete them. They tend to come up anyways. But you'll see that I am not able to see any of the data right now. If I put this in enable editing, then now when you try to do this, you're going to be you're going to face a prompt here, okay? And that prompt will basically be asking for your permission to download one add-in, okay? So that add-in is for Dataflow, so it's totally safe. You can just click on yes, and this will get installed. So now you can see I have all of my data over here, right? I have this batch, I have the email, ID is always good, right? And the roll number along with the title, right? Now let's do this. Let's do this. What if I want to add a record over here and I want this to display in my Power Apps? So let's do this. I am going to say Pratima Patil. Um, Never mind about the lookup. I'll just leave that as it is. And let's say she is from batch 2019. Okay, she's younger to me. Um, and then let's say ppatil@gmail.com. And never mind, her name starts with P, so anyways her roll number was going to be 4. So now this is being done, right? And if I go ahead and publish this, so it got published. And now if I try to refresh this, you'll see that this data is present over here, right? Now let's check if this data indeed gets reflected in our Power Apps. So I go over here, okay, I'll just remove this. And one of the most important things that I'll need to do is, of course, I'll need to select this gallery and I'll need to refresh this data source, right? Because we have already selected the manual refresh. That's why I wanted to demonstrate this to you in the later half of this episode. So you see the fourth record has also come up. And now if I go ahead and try to play this, ta-da, I have this fourth record over here. So yeah, that is all. And one more thing that I want to share with you is if you go to your data flows, then if you click on these three toggle points, you have the option to see the refresh history. So if I click on refresh history, because you need to have your eyes right when a particular record was added, when this data flow got refreshed, so you can also download this. Right now it's not going to show me much data because we have just done a single refresh, um, and that was kind of an on-demand request, right? So yeah, that's what it's going to show me. So see, we first imported everything at 12.2, and now this is like the latest refresh uh, was done on 12.2 itself. You remember, we were not able to bring the entire data in one go. So that's it. That's the status and everything. So you can monitor your when exactly your data flow got refreshed from this run history. So yeah, let me know, and I would um, probably want you to go ahead and try this. Go ahead and try to play around with this. Go ahead and use the Power Query. If you are facing issues, then never mind. I am going to paste this Power Query in the bottom of the video, and then you can just go ahead and compare if these values are present in your entities and then run this. You'll either need to remove some of the columns if they are not present. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video today, and like, share and subscribe, and let me know in comments what you think of today's episode. Bye bye guys, and have a great day.